All right, once we have an understanding about how the herbivores work and how their anatomy can break down forages, particularly when we get into the fiber component, we need to have an understanding of forage quality itself. And we need to make sure we're all understanding it as the same thing. So when we talk about a definition of forage quality, that is the potential of a forage to produce the desired animal response. And that animal response can be milk production, could be growth, could be work, could be a variety of things depending upon what your production goals are. And so forage quality for a dairy cow could be different than forage quality for an open sheep that is not gestating or lactating. And so forage quality can be a little bit vague, but what we need to understand is when we refer to it, we're talking about the potential of a forage to produce that animal response. And it includes several things. And that's what we need to keep in mind, is it includes what we call nutritive value, or the chemical composition. What are the numbers? How does that affect the quality of the forage? It also is going to include forage intake, factors that can affect how much of the forage the animal eats. And then there's the potential for some anti-quality factors or toxins or something like that. So all of these elements go into forage quality. And so I want to just make it clear that nutritive value is separate from forage quality. It's part of it. But nutritive value is referring to the concentration of nutrients and energy in that forage. It's the chemical composition. And so we can assign a value to it, but even with, like, if it's excellent in protein and energy, it may not be of high quality if there's a lot of tannins or something else that might affect the palatability of that forage and the animal won't eat it. So it's a very important part of forage quality, but it is not interchangeable with forage quality. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's clear. Nutritive value is part of forage quality, but it does not mean the same as forage quality. All right, and this is where I start to kind of geek out on the forages, because there are so many things that can come into play. And so when we talk about the first side of this graphic, and this is one of the images in your textbook, so you have this available to you, is the forage side of things. We have so many things that can affect forage quality. And it includes plant species, the cultivars, the varieties, the plant parts in terms of the morphology of that plant and the structure of that plant. Climate can play a role, soil, and what's happening within the soil, the maturity of the forage, and a variety of other things. And all of those go into contribute to the three big ones in terms of forage quality. They're going to contribute to the chemical composition or the nutritive value. They're going to contribute to any anti-quality factors that may be in the plant, and they're also going to contribute to the potential intake of that forage by an animal. On the next side of things, we have all of the animals factors that can come into play, and this is a whole host of things. The genotype, the genetics of the animal, how big is it supposed to be, gender, the age, body condition score, health status, how animals interact with each other in a herd. And because if you've been around animals, you understand some have a dominant personality and others have a submissive personality. And all of those dynamics, and you throw in climate, pests, and all of that, it's going to come down to three major factors that are going to affect the potential for animal performance. Notice I say the potential, not animal performance directly, but what could happen. And so that's going to break down to genetics. What's the ability of that animal from a DNA standpoint? Physiological factors, things that are going on in the animal's life that may affect its animal performance, and environmental factors. What's happening? Are we under cold stress, heat stress, something like that? All of those are going to affect that potential for animal performance. And now, you remembered when we defined animal performance or forage quality as the potential of a forage to achieve a certain level of animal performance. So when we get to that point where we have the forage quality and we're trying to evaluate what our potential animal performance could be, we have all of these interactions that can come into play. And so, do we have a balance of forage nutrients? What rate and extent of digestion is happening of that forage? How is the animal using those nutrients? Are they wasting any? Are they being excreted? Are they getting used in the body? How available is the forage? Do we have adequate quantity of forage? Sometimes as forages mature, the palatability goes down. There's other anti-quality effects like tannins and other things that could happen. If you do supplement these animals, the forage utilization may interact or change because of the feed supplement you're providing. And so all of this stuff is what I kind of call the big hot mess, but it makes it an ever-changing field and really interesting to take a look at. And so when we talk about animal performance in a grazing system, it's not just milk production, gain, or whatever. We have all of these other elements that are really trying to come together and predict what's going to happen in our animals. And so when we have this many things, you can understand that a simple shift in one of these items could put a shift on everything else and change the dynamics. And that's why I personally enjoy forage nutrition, is because it is never the same. What we do one year, what we do one week is going to be different from the next week, all depending upon how things interact in the animal. And so with the next video, I'm going to start breaking down some of these individual components in terms of understanding forage quality.